to Queensland from Victoria to Queensland, and so we'll continue to take our health advice from the Chief Health Officer, not from Bob Catter or others who want to criticise the measures we've got in place. The fact is we have the lowest restrictions in the eastern seaboard. If you think about what life is like in Sydney and Melbourne and even the ACT now, they have much more restrictions. The point I made yesterday was that the Premier of Victoria quite reasonably has released a roadmap for their state at key thresholds, and they are approaching the threshold at which people can have a few more people in their homes, at which people can remove their masks to have their beard trimmed at the hairdresser. That's the kind of difference that we're talking about here. And so I think when most Queenslanders look at the risk of having to go back to that kind of lockdown compared to the fantastic lifestyle that we're experiencing here in Queensland, they'll be happy for us to continue to take the health advice.
And Bob's labelled the Premier as power hungry. What do you think about titles like that?
Oh, look, I think calling people names is pretty unhelpful in the current political climate. We're just trying to do our best to keep Queenslanders safe and to keep creating jobs here in Queensland. It's working. We're seeing investors from right around the world want to come to Queensland, both because of our health response, but also because we're open for business and we're able to be talking with them, working with them, meeting with them in a way that the states that we used to compete with just can't do.
And following the announcement of the new vaccine campaign yesterday, how crucial is it that people come forward and get the jab, especially before Christmas, as they could be able to see their loved ones in the state?
Oh, look, we are absolutely committed to getting as many Queenslanders as are eligible vaccinated. Until now, we haven't been able to go any faster than the vaccine supply. But now that we have much more vaccine supply, particularly additional Pfizer, as well as that Moderna stock going into our chemists, we really can vaccinate everyone who's eligible. And so I think we've done pretty much everyone who was eager. There was a segment of the population who couldn't wait to get vaccinated. I was in that group. But then I get that there are a lot of people who don't get as excited about going and getting a needle. And so this campaign is really about saying, well, it's not so much about the vaccine, it's more about what we will be able to do once everyone who's eligible and we meet those vaccination targets have been vaccinated. And so the campaign's really important. We need people to start coming forward now. The faster people come to us to get vaccinated, the more people will vaccinate, the more people will get vaccinated. That's what Queensland Health have proven, that provided we have enough stock and enough people, we'll get enough people vaccinated.
And how encouraged are you by the big number of teenagers getting vaccinated?
Look, I think it's great. I know my eldest is 13, nearly 14, and he couldn't wait to get vaccinated. He's had his first shot now, and just to see young people who've lived through a pandemic that for everyone was a foreign experience. For young people, it is a particularly foreign experience, and I know they don't want to go back to homeschooling and lockdown. Although every now and then some of them suggest we could close the schools again just for a couple of days. It's great to see young people getting vaccinated. I think it demonstrates how eager they are to see the end of this pandemic.
Just with regard to the Queensland border potentially staying shut for Christmas, do you stand by your comments that you made yesterday?
Well, first of all, no one's ever suggested that the border should be closed at Christmas, but what we've said is it should be open at the right time, and that we don't yet have the information that tells us what that right time is. And, the fact of the matter is the border at the moment is really only closed to people whose homes are in lockdown, who really shouldn't be leaving their homes according to their own government's requirements. And so the point I was making yesterday was, let's focus on what we can do today and tomorrow and next week. And that's the best way to make sure that we are open by Christmas, maybe even well before Christmas. But the point I was trying to make was that's 90 days away. The only information, the only modelling we have to hand at the moment predates the Sydney outbreak. Sydney's been in lockdown now for, I think, 13, approaching 14 weeks. And the modelling that we currently have is from before that outbreak. Christmas is still, I think, about 90 days away. A lot can change in that period of time, and so let's focus on what we can do today to bring that date forward, and that is get as many people vaccinated as we possibly can, while of course supporting our neighbours in New South Wales and Victoria and the ACT to get on top of their outbreaks, because that's really what matters for the country right now. This is It might not feel like it in Queensland, but this is the worst the pandemic has been. More people are dying now in Australia than at any other time in the pandemic. And so it's absolutely critical we focus on that and the health and well-being of Australians in New South Wales and Victoria, rather than people taking political pot shots at our Premier for what might happen in 90 days.
That is the